To the Western Cape now, a fire broke out at the St. George's Cathedral in Cape Town in the early hours of this morning. The basement and the crypt were damaged. In a social media post, the Dean of the Cathedral, Reverend Michael Weeder, said that the fire was an act of arson. To get an update on this story, I'm now joined by our reporter Monique Mortlock. Good afternoon, Monique. What do we know about the cause of the fire? Because we do hear that the Dean insists that it's an act of arson.
What we know is that police are investigating the cause and the circumstances around the fire. A case of arson has been opened, and according to the police, a member of the public, called in that there was a fire that they saw here at the St. George's Cathedral. That was just after 1 o'clock this morning. The fire was then quickly put out a short while later by the City of Cape Town's Fire and Rescue Services. But before that, we saw members of the CCID. They were on the scene because they were on patrol, and they then used a fire extinguisher. One of the fire extinguishers they got from the Taj Hotel, which is just opposite the road. The Taj Hotel also jumping in to assist. And what we know, according to Father Michael Weeder, who's the Dean of the Cathedral, is that just up these steps, I don't know if my colleague Asana can show you right now, it's probably being blocked by this massive tree, that apparently someone threw a piece of cotton that was burnt or on fire, and this person then threw that piece of cotton through one of these vent holes leading to the basement. And it's believed, according to Father Michael Weeder, that this is how the fire may have started, as rubbish then that was also thrown through this whole caught fire, and that is how this fire then quickly it didn't fortunately get out of control due to the quick thinking of those CCID members, who quickly grabbed some extinguishers, got an extinguisher from members from the Taj Hotel, and just did what they could until the City of Cape Town's Fire and Rescue Services were on the scene to douse those flames. According to Father Michael Weeder, it was difficult for members of the city's fire and rescue services to actually get in to the basement due to the tricky nature or the tricky nature of the way the basement is laid out, and it's for this reason that one of the bars of the vent holes had to be broken in order for a firefighter to get in there and to just make sure that the flames were completely doused. Fortunately, that was able to happen. Father Michael Weeder, who's in London at the moment, told us also that this seems to have been a malicious act, but thankfully it didn't get out of control. And he also reflected on the fact that not too long ago we saw just around the corner from St. George's Cathedral, Parliament burning, and what happened earlier this morning at St. George's Cathedral just evoked or just brought up those memories again of what happened at Parliament.
And not to be an alarmist or anything or try to connect dots that don't connect, but it is rather concerning. I mean, we're seeing quite a lot of these fires now, even at the Waterkloof Air Force Base. We had a fire, so quite concerning. I understand where he's coming from. But chat to us about the significance, though, of St. George's Cathedral to South Africa's history.
You'll remember that in recent history, about a month ago, on the 1st of January, Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu's funeral was held at St. George's Cathedral, and this is also where his ashes are interred. It is also here where members of the public had the opportunity to come and view, to come and pay their respects by coming to view the coffin, the simple coffin that was placed here inside the cathedral as the arch was lying in state for those 2 days ahead of the funeral. And it was also here in the 80s that the arch led a march, a protest against apartheid, with about 30,000 people taking part in that protest. And this is also the cathedral where anti-apartheid activists and struggle stalwarts met on a regular basis, people from all races, from all religions. And it was something that the arch was also quite vehement about, that everyone should be welcomed at the cathedral, and this was during apartheid. So it's for this reason that the cathedral has been dubbed the People's Cathedral, because of the fact that it's always opened its doors to all races, to all religions. And it's also been the place where significant events have taken place, like the arch's funeral recently, and many gatherings of anti-apartheid activists. And this is also for the Anglican Church, the oldest Anglican cathedral in the Southern Hemisphere. So it also has architectural history. The first stone for the foundation was laid in 1901. In 2014, the Western Cape proclaimed it a provincial heritage site due to its significance to South Africa's history. So a lot of history steeped in the stones of St. George's Cathedral. And this is also something Father Michael Weeder touched on, saying that they were so close to losing it. They could have lost it in this fire had people not acted as quickly as they did. Members from the CCID, staffers from the Taj Hotel jumping in to douse those flames as best as they can with fire extinguishers right before the City of Cape Town's fire and rescue services were able to arrive on the scene. And he was just reflecting on the fact that thankfully whatever malicious forces may have been at play, it wasn't successful, and St. George's Cathedral is still standing with minimal damage.